Right, we're working on Tata steel,
Okay.
which will give us some steel. That'll be good. Let's give us a lot of steel. Tata steel. Tata!
Where is the Tartar region?
I don't think it's a region. It's a man, isn't it? The Tata family, like they have the steel company.
Can you
he's
click
one of
on
the
it and
richest men in
will
Britain.
it tell you?
What? No, it's going to produce steel in Bombay. So I guess that's where they started the company up. And Bombay is, don't tell me, around here somewhere.
I thought
Is
the
that Bombay?
Tartars were a group
That's
of like
Gujarat.
people.
That's the Tatars. This is Tatar.
Tatar.
Right, you're thinking of the Tatars.
Tatar.
Is that where the sauce comes from? Have you ever
Possibly.
Okay. Nice.
Where's Bombay? I don't know the geography of India at all. That's Mysore. Is that it? That's Hyderabad. Is that it? There's Bombay. Hey, knew it. So yeah, at the moment it's got not much in the way of steel. What have we got? None steel. So we're going to start producing steel, which will be vital for our war effort. Oh shit!
Here we go. It's starting.
It begins.
This has nothing to do with the old war. Well, it's a bit of
What are
a
you talking
problem
about?
It's not well.
Spain.
It's the start of everything.
This is how it all kicks
Civil
off,
War.
baby.
It's the rise of fascism. As people have pointed out correctly, you should be able to send planes to get aerial experience and stuff from the national.
Well, they said
the Civil War.
they're working on planes and stuff for the next.
I feel like the expansion roadmap that they've got is let's get the base game working just right,
Yeah.
and then we'll add stuff in. Because if we add stuff in and people go, holy shit, this is super unbalanced, and they haven't even fixed X yet, then what's the point in adding to it? It's like if you have a cake, you get the batter just right before you start embellishing. You don't chuck icing in the mix, do you? You got to bake that bitch first. You got to get it just so. Check the consistency and all that. That's what they're doing. That's what they're about.
I like icing, okay? I disagree. I think
You don't put it in
Do some
before it's been
tests.
baked.
do a couple little icing tests because it's fun, it tastes good, and what could possibly go wrong? Nothing. There's only positive outcomes if you put icing into the batter, I think.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Has it ever been done? That's what I want to know. Has anyone ever cooked a cake where the icing is in the cake at the start? I don't believe so. They have. I'd be very surprised.
Maybe not. Maybe not. Mechanical computing. That's right. South Africa is online. Matrix
Nice.
enabled. Mechanical computing. It's the future, people of South Africa. That's right. Get your computers out. We're going to get you Windows 95 installed. It's going to take a couple of days. You can watch the Buddy Holly video by Weezer on it while you're waiting and stuff.
Oh my
It'll be fun.
God. That takes me back.
Yeah. Did you go through that thing where all of your friends' dads had to install Windows 95 on their home computer and it would take them like a week to do it or whatever?
I'm trying to think. Most of my friends' dads, I don't think they had computers.
Oh, I had a couple of friends whose dads had computers, and I
A
remember
couple
Windows
of them did.
95 was like this big deal. It was like, hey, you want to go play on the computer? Oh, I can't. My dad's installing Windows 95. What? He's been doing that for like a week. Yeah, it's really tough. You got to put the CD in and click next a bunch of times, and
It was
fuck,
discs,
screws
homie.
up all the time and stuff. Oh, was it? Shit, yeah, you're right. It might have been actually.
I remember going to use the university computers when I was over a summer break one time. I went to Bournemouth University to use their sort of open access library computers because I needed them for some coursework. And they were running one of the very first, like it was like Windows 1 or 2 was what they were running.
Right.
They hadn't yet upgraded to, what was it, 311 or whatever even. And this it should have been 95 because it was in the 90s, but they were still running these unbelievably ancient computers because they were just so underfunded.
Yeah.
It was
that-
bad.
that's
I can't
pretty
believe it was
common,
ever
like-
a thing. It was
Like
bad.
when I worked at the bank, they were years behind, like on operating systems. Like when I started working at the bank in like 2005 or 6, we were still on Windows NT, like the
Windows
original.
NT was good though. That was
It
a good
was, but
system.
man, fuck, it was so shitty at the same time. Like it got outdated fairly quickly. So it was kind of
True.
It was annoying to support, and all the new software that was coming out didn't work very well with it. So you constantly had to like hack around with shit to get it to work, and oh god, it was a nightmare.
My dad and my father-in-law were both programmers before they retired, and My dad programmed in COBOL for most of his life.
Nice.
Right? He was like a COBOL programmer.
That was really big in Canada. I had to take it. I took computer programming in school, and we had to learn COBOL because the Canadian government, like all programming jobs for the Canadian government, were so heavily dependent on COBOL.
Yeah. But banking is, I think it's something like 80% of the world's banking code is still running on COBOL.
Probably.
It's a huge amount.
It's nuts.
And like people, these old guys like who've gone back into programming as contractors have sometimes gone into a bank to do some contracting work and found some code that they wrote there 30 years ago or whatever, still with their annotations and like author at the top and everything, and they're just like, oh, I remember how this works, because that's how you know you're a real programmer. If you can pick up an old program and go, oh, I remember how, because they don't see it as just lines of shit. They're like, to them it's almost like a box.
I used to debug code that was written in like 1985, 86 by like Chinese people. And every time I'd open it up and I'd look at like the comments at the top to see like when it was created or whatever, it always blew my mind, because when that stuff was being written, I was actually 5 years old.
Yeah, it's nuts. It's absolutely nuts.
No concept of computers or what my job would be when I was older or whatever. And these guys are just sitting there fucking writing code for banks and stuff. It's nuts.
Oh, man. Different times.
Oh, God.
So it's October 1936. The Civil War is going the way of the fascists as usual.
Oh.
I do see some British troops in there. They're the ones in Gibraltar. I do think it's interesting that they have a tank division in Gibraltar. I would have gone with not a tank division, but they sent in some lads, some regular lads. So that makes sense. So while I'm a Dominion, a bunch of my shit goes to the Brits, which kind of sucks.
We have what width do I want for combat? It's 20, right? You just keep adding
20.
stuff to try
20
or
to 40, I think.
Add it up to 20. Okay.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we have to complete Cripps' mission. In order to do that, we need 10% world tension. So we may be a few years late in freeing ourselves, but by God, we're going to do it.
So
Lord Lithgow, your days are numbered.
God damn.
So,
I have no manpower. I have no fucking anything. I have like no factories. I'm fucked.
What the fuck was that? Who just declared war?
Chinese Soviet Republic, who is in the communists led by Mao Zedong, have just attacked Xibei Jianma, and they're going to lose that war and call it a white peace, because that's how their tree goes. I tried playing as them. It was fucking terrible. It's so grim. If you look at Chinese Soviet Republic, when you have vision in there, like around their capital is just all forts, and they're like, they've lost this big fight. The nationalists in China have sort of booted them out, sort of thing. Chiang Kai-shek, and they've hidden up here. But then they did win the war in the end and took over China, and Mao Zedong led them to what they are now. It's quite an interesting history, actually.
I mean, they did get a lot of China got sort of taken by Japan, didn't it, in the Second World War, though?
A whole bunch of it, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know who Japan was fighting. Were they fighting the nationalists or the
whole lot of them?
Communists?
The whole lot of them. The whole bunch.
So it was
of
a
them.
real mess.
I mean, it's tricky. I don't think that, like, we look at this map and our understanding of it is pretty flimsy, because it's like, obviously, most of being European, my history of the war is Eurocentric.
Yeah.
But if you've learned the history of China and Japan, like that was a brutal and bloody war, and we were involved quite heavily in it, obviously from Indian territories and Burma and places like that. It was a hell of a slog in those jungles. It's the one side of the war that has barely been covered. Like, I do think about the number of movies that has been made about D-Day and the war in Europe, and I'm thinking, isn't it about time we had some movies about the grim reality of fighting in fucking Burma? Because it was
like
bad,
the bridge over the River Kwai was like the only one. The only movie.
No, there is another one based on a book. Like, what the fuck was it called?
The Thin Red
something
Line.
About a foot or something about three. No, again, that was America's Pacific War. Like the British war over there hasn't been covered. It's a really famous British book about the war over there. Christ. It's something like My 3 Feet, but that's not it. It's something like that. Someone will know in the comments. It's a good movie anyway.
My 3 Feet. A story of a British leper colony involved in World War I.
The story of a brave British Tommy with his 3-foot dick and how he swung it at the Japanese and scared them away. Indianization of the army. Oh, we're getting there, lads. An Indian Sandhurst. This is how we get some Indian generals. Lions of the Great War, recruitable population plus 2%. Bangalore torpedo, Assam oil. We can get oil. We can have more naval dockyards. Clamp down on corruption.
Nice.
We could do this.
I'm doing. I've standardized the railways in Australia. Yep. For decades, it's had competing railway gauges, but no longer.
What are we going? Communist?
Well, no, you can do whatever you want, Sips. This is you're an independent person. You no longer have to do anything as part of the British family.
I thought we were doing something together, though.
We can if
we
you
are,
want.
aren't we?
Are you going communist, Flax?
I thought we might.
Because I'm ready. I've got a political advisor. I've got points. I'm ready to fucking commit here to something.
Do you believe in the communist way?
I mean, I don't really want to go to war with the Soviets. I want to go left and right rather than up and down. And I want to take out the Allies. So let's go communist and start shit.
All right.
Do you want to do it?
The influences from China and socialism and Soviet Union.
Yeah, I'm going communist. I'm doing it.
I like that.
I'm doing it.
I like that.
And South Africa's coming along.
I'm on it.
I think I hold on to my political power instead of spending it because we're going to need it to become not a dominion or whatever.
So
I'm gonna chill.
So you guys are like, we want to break free from the yoke of the imperial colonial power, the great British scumbags.
Yes.
And
we want to afford our own way, you know?
That's right. That's right.
I mean, no man wants to be, or woman, wants to be an oppressed subject, you know? People yearn to be free. Land and freedom are the most important things. And by God, this country of ours, this great country, this India, will no longer be called the British Raj. We will be free. I'm like Gandhi.
I think my first...
I'm gonna fucking kill everybody, just like Gandhi.
I think my first move is going to be to declare war on Portugal. So I can take, Angola and fucking Mozambique.
Get that shit.
Yeah. And
then Belgium. And next of all, Belgium.
Yeah. Are you sure you don't have like a focus tree that's demanding those bits off
I do,
Portugal?
yeah, eventually, yeah. I can get down there in the focus tree and I can eventually liberate the Portuguese colonies, so...
I think the early part of our war will be fairly quiet, like maybe 1939 before we get involved in anything.
Yeah,
look at this. The war in Spain is actually dragging on a little bit.
Yeah, holy shit, it is. You're right.
Now I can't do anything until my autonomy progress is over 55%. So I can't actually. I'm a bit sort of limited in what I can do until I get over that. But
yeah,
that doesn't seem too far away.
I had the same thing. France and the Allies. Okay, so we are in the Allies. British Malaya. We're in the Allies. Oh shit.
Yeah,
we're allied up. Yeah, we're in the Allies because we're a dominion. Once we break free, then we shall be liberated.
I want to break free.
Who are these lads? What's going on here? Why has my lad got a grey thing on him? Have they been claimed? No. Gosh, I thought my troops were being nabbed by the Brits there for a second. That's unacceptable. Oh, I can stop exercise. We've got 37. Whew. All right. Break it up, lads. You guys are all now well-trained. They've regulars.
Done a lot of running around.
These guys are the most well-trained troops ever to set foot in the bits of India that they are in.
Right. Wow. So, I mean, it's good to see being in the Allies, though. I can see a lot of things. I can see, all of England... and their troops and their ships and things. I can see all of France.
They have a lot of stuff, don't they?
Do you want to go with the Allies, lads?
A lot of ships. Well, I'm already, reforming communism, so...
Yep, let's do it. Let's do it.
Ooh.
I'm doing it.
Well, you're going to have to go your own way, boys.
Are you not joining us? Are you doing this again? What is with you?
I have to wait until I've got enough
You'll get there.
Autonomy.
Look, I had the same thing with Canada. Once you get there, it's great to be free. It's worth the fight. We mustn't focus so much on we've got to get fascists so that we can conquer the world. I think we just need to try and do the best we can with what we've got. We need to redefine the history of South Africa, Australia, and the British Raj.
Yeah.
And I think if Australia can nab the Dutch East Indies, British Malaya, the Philippines, and part of Southeast Asia, we're away with it.
We're off.
Take New Zealand. That should be your quest, Lewis.
Yeah.
To conquer New Zealand in the name of Australia.
Come on.
To bring them culture to that desolate isle once.
Come on, Lewis.
And for all.
Look at the Dutch East Indies. They're just begging. They're begging you to conquer them. Look.
With their wealth of rubber.
Yeah.
I don't feel his heart is in it, Sips.
I don't feel like he's even at his
It's because he
computer right
can't
now.
go fascist in 1936, which, as we all know, Lewis craves fascism
Yeah.
on a visceral level.
At least this time there's no way for him to actually cuck us.
Yeah.
There's that. There's that much. All right. National focus, empower the workers. I can go all the way down here. I can do Union of the African People. I can liberate British colonies, liberate Portuguese colonies, liberate Belgian colonies. I'm going for it, baby. I'm doing it.
Okay, it looks like the nationalists are winning in Spain again. It always looks good for a little bit. There's a tiny breakout towards Madrid, but then it all goes south.
I need some steel.
I can trade you steel. Got steel. We got Tata steel, baby.
We got steel. We got
All right.
steel for days. So, have you guys? I've put some research into the Special Research Division.
Oh, have you? Okay.
Which is the new, the modded talent tree. The first one you have to do is gives you minus 5% research time. Since I only have 2 research slots, I was feeling that was actually a good thing. And then it seems like there are quite a few things that you can do. It looks like additional land doctrines or air doctrines.
Yeah, there's all kinds of... The tech tree is huge. If you look on... Next time you have a tech, if you look to the right, you've got ET and X. So that's like extra training and extra stuff. So you can get steel production. So you can actually make steel mills that produce steel.
Yeah, I'm doing
instead
that.
of just having to trade for it. You can also get desert clothing, jungle clothing, which lowers attrition a lot in those places. So if you're fighting in the desert, you're fighting in the jungle, you equip your men effectively, rather than have that awful slog where, oh, it's jungle, so we're all attriting. You think, well, why couldn't we make some cool equipment for that? You can jazz up, you can have drop tanks for your fighters and stuff so they go further range. You can give yourself sniper teams and flamethrowers and stuff like that, which is good. But then in SRD, the Special Research Division, if you get the top one, that lowers your research time by 5%. It takes a long time. But then you can go like army focus, the means, which is where you improve your industry as well as your lower your attrition and your reinforcement rates and stuff, or the ends, which increases like how little supply you consume and stuff. So there's all kinds of trees you can go down to add, and some of them are really, really good.
Right.
So there's a lot of stuff you can do.
Wow, I'm a bit overwhelmed.
You must go your own way, friend. You must go your own way.
I will go my own way.
So you're not joining us, Lewis. You're gonna.
Well, I can't yet, but I will.
I can't either. I'm in the same boat as you, but I'm.
Yeah, me too. But we're getting there.
Slowly
Rather
becoming
than focus
free.
on success now, we focus on down the line stuff. You know.
Takes a while to become free, but once you're free, let me tell you, it tastes great.
Ooh, provincial elections, yes, please.
It looks like nationalist Spain has won.
They are triumphant, and world tension is now at 10%, which has unlocked some key shit for me.
I just did a farting noise.
Nice.
Nice.
He did a farting noise with his mouth. If you look at the government, you can also go national character, which can do things like changing if you change your law to brinksmanship, then you need less war goal tension limit and lessons of history. Your division attrition goes down, ideological struggle, which makes your justify war goal time lower and makes people of the same ideology happier, but it's much easier for people to declare war on you and stuff. So there's all kinds of other governments you can go for. The state's mandate, you can go will of the people, which is more communist, and increases your national unity. So there are all kinds of other little bits and bobs you can use to buff up your country.
I can get Herbert V. Evatt. He's a cheap political power gain guy.
Nice.
Whoa, you can do steel production, aluminum production. This is pretty nice, actually. These are nice changes. I like this. Power the workers.
So yeah, it looks like you can.
Sweet. Oh,
so I can research a steel mill. I mean, that sounds cool. I think I'm not too bad on steel, actually. I'll do a steel mill. I'm okay. So yeah, being in a faction, in this big faction, means that a lot of my things get sort of cheaper because the British Raj and South Africa have researched. Oh, you've researched dispersed. I went with concentrated. See, I can see what you guys have researched here. You've both... Yeah, New Zealand and the UK have researched excavation 1. So that makes it 20% cheaper. Right. It's good to have lots of guys in a faction. It's good to be with the guys. Shit,
you want to stay in the Allies, don't you?
Well, when you guys leave the Allies, when I leave the Allies, I'm going to lose all my research bonuses and all my cushy free stuff.
Yeah, but you won't need any of that stuff then anyway. You'll be powerful. You'll be more built up. You'll be ready to rock and roll.
I've got a question for you, Lewis.
If you want to stay in the Allies, Lewis, just do it.
Yeah, when you stabbed me and Sips in the back, were you playing from home or were you in the office? Can you remember?
I can't remember, P-Flax. I'm sorry.
I'm gonna suggest that when you're at home, you change.
Right.
I don't even know who you are anymore.
You're like a Jekyll and Hyde character. Hyde at home, Jekyll at the office.
So in the comfort of my own home, all my fascist tendencies all just spill out. And my backstabbing nature is allowed to blossom. Whereas when I'm in the office, I'm more diplomatic and democratic, if you like. I'm like, oh yeah, I think we could do that. I think we could do that.
I think when you're at home,
I'm like
you're like
Heil
you're your own person at home. But at the office, maybe you take on the role of like a boss or like a manager or something.
Under the yoke of the Australian peoples.
Exactly.
That's frightening.
We have not enough Lebensraum in Australia.
You got loads of Lebensraum. Nobody wants to get in that realm.
Exactly. Lebensraum is filled with spiders and
less spider realm, more Lebensraum.
More spiders. We will kill
spiders.
all the spiders.